Hello.
Hey.
It's been a while.
Oh, I was like, uh-oh, what now? It has. But we're here now.
Wrong queen though. Tonight,
Oh,
I just realized.
oops. All the fighters are like,
I
unsubscribe.
didn't sign up for this.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of
Legends only.
your weekly pop culture podcast where we talk about not feeling ourselves tonight and,
Legends only.
well, specifically one legend this week.
Yes.
Legend
That's right, everyone.
Tina, if you
Legend
will.
X.
Yes. Legend X Teen.
Yes, this is the beginning of the long-awaited Bionic deep dive.
It has been 10 years of
10
waiting.
years of anal bead lipstick, mic stands, of gum throwing, of woohooing, and desnuditating all over the place.
Yeah. Well, actually, 10 years of that fucking microphone, which we will talk about.
Oh, we absolutely will.
We'll get into that. But before we get Bionic, we just want to give a thank you to all of our supporters on patreon.com/legends only. Our iconic Legends Only fans, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. And if you would like to hear some new stuff, we're trying something new this week. Go over to our Patreon.
Personal.
And something more personal. Oh, wrong queen again.
Oh,
But
yeah. Oh,
what's like
oh,
a little more stripped?
A little more stripped. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
We are stripped. Yes.
The voices within. We're trying something new. So if you are on Patreon, let us know what you think. If you're not on Patreon, that's okay. But yeah. So shall we get into Bionic?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So before we get into what some may call her best album, let's go back in time super quickly and just update the girls on where our first journey with Christina started.
Go back to the beginning.
Oh,
wrong queen again. We're going to get the right queen eventually. I guess I'll kick it off with a confessional.
Yeah.
Now, when I was growing up, I fell in love with a woman named Britney Jean Spears. And at that time, a formative time in my life, there was something of a feud between her and another legend named
Christina Britney rivalry.
Yes.
Flash.
The feud, of course, was entirely fueled by the media and fans and, wasn't actually real until it, got to both of them, I would say. And there were some digs by both of them with quotes, and that only fueled the flames more. But back then, as an impressionable teen, I definitely felt that there were battle lines drawn, and my allegiance was to Queen Bee. And I just didn't, take that kindly to Christina. And I wasn't as bad as like sending her hate or anything or whatever we did back then. I
like, what do we use?
Forums,
like phone call to TRL. Hi.
Honestly, yes.
I'm here to call in and vote for Oops, I Did It Again. Thank you. Click.
Yeah, that wasn't really my style. I was basically just not really checking for her, even though I was fully aware of her presence and everything. But that is to say, around Keeps Getting Better, a decade of hits, I had a change of heart.
Now 2 decades of hits.
2 decades of hits, and it keeps getting better. I had a change of heart when she started to be compared to a woman named Stephanie Germanotta. Now, at the time, she had specifically done a performance.
Stephanie Germanotta.
Not 2 Italian girls, so they're already very different. I started to feel bad for her because I knew that she was her own artist in her own right, and certain bloggers and certain press outlets started to make up yet another feud for her. Granted, we do have an iconic quote from her coming up, but it was prompted by people prodding her to say something about Gaga. And at that point, I felt sympathetic, and I became interested in her career and wanting to sort of right the wrongs of not paying attention. So I would say Bionic is my first full-fledged stan moment for many reasons that we were about to get into. And again, I was not the one sending hate or anything that deep. It was never that deep with me, but I just wasn't tuned in for the full story. And so I did a lot of like retroactive standing after that and got into Back to Basics and got into all of it. And she is a queen. She's a legend, and she deserves her flowers. And that's what we're about to
And
do here.
Grammys.
Grammys, oh, many,
Mm-hmm.
multiple. So I'm very at peace and very excited with where I am with her, because I'm happy that I can remove myself from a stupid stand-driven situation and genuinely love her for her.
Oh.
Because, we talk about these things all the time. Mariah versus J-Lo, Britney, Christina. It's like, I would like to love
J-Lo
both
can't
of the artists.
sing. J-Lo can't sing. Mariah.
I just think your world is very boring if you are only into one of them. So you don't have to love everybody, but I just think, God, it's so boring to only like one person and shit on everybody else.
Right.
So I think that about sums up my Xtina experience.
The experience.
The experience, yes.
Oh.
Yes. Where we were supposed to go.
I
We did have many
know.
plans. Anyway.
Well, can't relate to that journey.
Right.
I was there from Jeannie. Now, so I feel like one thing I like to do on this podcast is share extremely random stories that I remember in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a very vivid memory from one of our childhood houses where I had Reflection on a karaoke CD that was in like a karaoke machine. And I was trying to sing Reflection, like seriously. Like I actually was trying to be a singer and thinking that I was a good singer. And I just have this memory of my mom way in the distance being like, shut the fuck up. Tigre, I swear to God, shut up. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. They shut it off. And that's why I'm not a singer. That moment.
It was actually, you later learned it was Christina herself who heard you. Shouted it from her mansion in Bel Air.
Maybe one day someone will find my vocal talents. All the things left undiscovered. Wrong queen again.
We'll get there eventually.
But yeah, I was there like in the beginning, and I remember watching Diary and Genie in a Bottle, What a Girl Wants, Come On Over. I remember trying to do the VMA dance break where she does the backflip. I just loved all of the wannabe Britneys, which, some people may not agree with that assessment, but, Jessica, Willa, Mandy, Christina, who else in that moment?
Well, I would argue, I stand them all. I would argue that Christina really from the get-go was trying to prove that she wasn't,
by
more
singing.
so than the other girls. By the vocals, you could feel that in the image versus other girls who I felt like maybe were trying to be Britney. I felt like
you could
she
feel
was
that moment, if you will.
Oh, that moment, yes.
I will say our reference game is like on point.
Very. Yeah, and it must have been very frustrating for her because, it goes back to the days of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, it does. They were friends.
They were friends, which adds to the whole thing of the feud is like,
Fast forward to us in 10 years.
Yeah. They did a podcast together. Now they're pop stars and they're rivals. T. Kyle found his vocal talent and now they're rivals. But yeah, no, I totally get that. Obviously we talk all about the Britney quote unquote wannabes at the time, because that's how the new Gen Z girls don't really understand the impact of how every girl was meant to look and sound like her at that time. Because we don't really have that now. I would say, if anything, I guess there's a bit of Ariana-ish to some of the girls now, but it's not the same. It's like Britney was like the cookie cutter that everyone tried to fit into.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I kind of want to get another Corona. 1 second.
You're going to get exposed again?
What?
Another Corona for you?
I just stand up and leave my own podcast and then don't come
Right.
back for 10 hours.
Oh, you would never do that.
Yeah, be right back.
That would be weird to leave people hanging like that.
Which, by the way, that was iconic. So
It really was. You left an impression.
pretty legendary, if you ask me. I love it. Well, anyway, fast forward. She has her stripped moment, which at some point we're going to need to talk about stripped because
We will.
stripped is what, and this is a very heavy statement, but it's tea. Stripped got me through high school. Like, no joke. The Voice Within and the song Soar were like my angels in high school. And so, as much as I've
Me talking
shaded,
about touching my hand.
yeah, but like, as much as I have shaded the shit out of Christina over the years on Twitter, I genuinely, she's my number two. I have like a trio, like a trifecta of like my faves, but like Christina has a special place in my heart that I can't deny. And I'm so excited that this is like a moment where the fighter can actually jump out because so many people think that just because Britney is my number one, that I hate Christina. And I'm like, no, like whatever. I love burlesque. Stripped got me through shit. So like I stan, and we're gonna get into it today. But fast forward to June 8th, 2010.
The year is 2010.
Oh, what a time.
We are graduating college.
Yes.
It is our last. If we didn't already, I believe we did had just had our graduation ceremony around this time.
We did. This was summer. So
Yes.
let's start out by talking about the lead single, Not Myself Tonight, because this has its own moment, I feel like, compared to the there's like Not Myself Tonight had a whole shitload of drama, and then there's the actual album. So
Right.
this song comes out, and again, with my memories, I almost got kicked out, or I did get kicked out of one bar because of the song. And I almost got kicked out of Mercury Bar. You know Mercury Bar down the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the second time I almost got kicked out of a bar.
For requesting it?
Yeah, so I got kicked out of Turtle Bay, which is on I think it's like Gramercy. What, I don't even know what the hell. That's like where the straight people live. I don't go over there anymore.
Yeah.
I used to go there in college, but we got kicked out of Turtle Bay. We requested it, they played it, and me and my friend got up on these like tables, and we were like shaking our tits, and they were like, "Get out." Homophobic.
Very homophobic. Would
Turtle
not
Bay's
fly.
homophobic. Spread the word. No, I'm kidding. I had so much fun there. And the other one was at Mercury Bar, and they used to play music videos. And so I saw the woman, I saw like her list of music videos, and she had Not Myself Tonight on it. So I kept telling her to play it, and I kept telling her and telling her and telling her. And she was like, if you fucking ask me one more fucking time, I'm kicking you out. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Exciting, though.
So I was like, so can you play it or not? Another two random memories, but we stand Mercury Bar.
Well, that's an incredible memory. For me, I had a little different experience with the lead single, and mine had to do with something more Swedish.
Oh.
Because at the same time, while the campaign was building up, there were these teasers that had come out.
Yes.
For those who didn't follow along for the journey, there is, spoiler alert, a Swedish artist named Jonah Lee. She, not to be confused with John Ali, the DJ, and friend to the pod. She has a project called I.am.am.I.whoami, and it was the first time that they were teasing from that project, and all they did was these very, very vague videos in the forest, a blonde woman kind of like licking a tree and being in the mud, very artsy. And at that same time, Christina was saying this was going to be a very artsy electronic album. And so people at Oh No They Didn't, Live Journal,
legendary
was
blog.
big on there.
That's where I first saw it.
Yeah. I started covering it on MewMews, and there are still people who said that they discovered my site from this because I was like so on it about it, because I kept covering
back in the day, like GeoCities.
Yeah, this was MewMews.geocities/gg. Yeah,
.net.
Yeah. The Zanga. And it's turned out to be obviously not Christina, but the thing is that there were so many coincidences that were so interesting. Like people were doing facial similarities, the teeth, because we were just getting like zooms of this person. And it was not her, but it did add hype accidentally to I Who Am I? And it also made Bionic feel more exciting. And then we get Not Myself Tonight, which is so not what that was.
Well, the teasers were very fighter music video
Yes, that's the other
esque.
thing. It was super fighter.
So that's why I was
Totally.
like, it's totally her. Like I believed it was her the whole time.
And they weren't really saying anything. And the file names, even people were doing like, as we do with like interpreting a Britney caption on an Instagram, people were like adding up and subtracting the numbers of the file names and being like, oh my God, it means it's coming out in June. And doing the most as usual.
Right. Like the girls these days really think that they've got to figure it out. I'm like, no, no, no. We've been doing this shit for like 90
Oh,
years.
yeah, exactly. That purse emoji on the Britney caption, trust me, we've been deducing that for years. We know it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was our experience rolling into it. And then we get Not Myself Tonight, the first single and the music video, which is its own beast.
I love Not Myself Tonight. And
Same.
anyone listening who was friends with me in college, this is senior year, we graduated. I was in the dorms as an RA for the summer. You know, you have seen it. I remember there was one night we went out and it started pouring and we were dancing in the street in front of all the cars and they started honking. And it was literally like the scene in the music video where she's like dancing in the rain. I
Mm-hmm.
can't run from it. I can't lie. I fucking love it.
I am obsessed with the video now. Obviously, as a baby gay Madonna fan, the express yourself of it all jumps out
Mm-hmm.
for me. Hugely that. The song itself, I think the attitude of it all, of being like, and if you don't like it, fuck you,
Yeah,
is
it's
so
such a good
Christina.
kickoff for.
Yeah.
And she did that with Stripped when she walked down those stairs at the VMAs and everyone was like, whoa. And she had like the scarf titty moment.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
she's known
yes.
for always having like a big change when she comes out with a new era. And
True.
literally to say, I'm not myself tonight. And like you said, if you don't like it, fuck you.
Tonight I'm
Kicking off
feeling
a
a
new
little
era.
out of control. Yes, she quite literally says, the old me's gone. I feel brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she
Molotov
kicks it off with a bang.
cocktails, her own closet.
Oh, God, yes. And of course, we get a milk moment, which
I
a
don't know what
slumber
that
party.
means.
What?
What is that all like? What's the whole milk thing?
I think it's like a sort of like taking it back to another queen, Lala Ashley. I'll drink
Oh
the milk on
yeah,
the floor. I think it's supposed to evoke like
like a
a
cat.
kitty cat
Wh-
drinking milk.
I
You know,
I don't.
I think it's supposed to be pornographic. I
Is
think it's
it
supposed to be like,
like I'm a
yeah,
pussy
something.
cat?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be hot? Like is
Well, we'll poll a gay man, or a straight man rather. We'll poll a few straight men and be like, "Are you aroused by milk?"
yeah? I don't really understand that.
I'm not opposed to milk personally. I don't think that that's a big I need it in a pop video, but it's popped up quite a few times.
Yeah, it has. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that's a thing.
totally.
Well, I don't like dairy, so I also love about this video the titties out with they had to CGI over the gold bars over her titties because they couldn't show it.
That's right. That
Hmm.
is right. And even the cover art, I love the like devilish.
The shoes,
Po-
those heels.
mm, yes, and the on the cover art with the little devil drawn on behind her.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it really deserved a reconsideration because what happened was we have to go back and really think about what this time was, which was Lady Gaga's moment. This was in the middle of Fame Monster, Alejandro, all of those visuals, and to have something like this come out inevitably, I feel it of course got those Gaga comparisons. It was fueled by a certain blogger that we don't care for.
Yeah, there was a post, and I feel like this post single handedly changed the course of this era for the
Mm,
worst. Like, I really do feel, and I can see the post in my brain. I can
yeah.
see the screenshot of the website. It was a post on PerezHilton.com. And it was a side by side comparison. There was Christina on the left and Gaga on
Yeah.
the right, Bad Romance and Not Myself Tonight. and it was these frames, and it was like boom, boom. I mean, I hope my brain is still working and that I'm seeing this correctly, but it was side by side comparisons of Gaga and Christina. And at this point, Bad Romance is a massive hit. So everyone is in love with Gaga.
Yeah.
And our Stephanie Geramato is having her biggest hit. And it was like, boom, Christina copied Gaga. And I feel like everyone turned on her.
I absolutely agree with you. And I actually went back earlier before this and I went back to what I was nervous. I went back to see what I said about Not Myself Tonight. And I like could get emotional, but I defended it in 2010. I was like, if she's jacking anyone, it's Madonna, not Gaga. I'm like so proud of 10 years ago me for being like calling out that bullshit at that time when it was so easy to do that
I
because
would
that's not
say
what it,
they were both copying Madonna.
well,
And you know
there you
what? I'm
had
going
it.
to give my own self this soundbite.
She's got a point.
I love giving yourself a point.
Literally, could you imagine it just me talking to myself and I'm just hitting that
You know
sound?
what? I've got a point.
Yeah.
And I in that post I also was like I hit back at the raunchy criticism because she was called a whore. Obviously, she's always been called a whore for any sexual video.
Which, like, in my
But
life, that's a compliment.
oh right, but
Even though
it
I'm
goes
like
back
kind
to
of conservative mommy, but like also I want to be like a slut pig.
right. But it goes back to Can't Hold Us Down. It's all about why
Ugh.
can't I do this too? And so I think it's just such a victory for her. And I feel like the hashtag happened already to get her back up on the charts and all of that. But like, I just think this was a really solid, slick visual. And as we'll get into, the whole album was. And I think this was a victory for her. And it's unfortunate that certain then popular voices in the pop community kind of
Oh,
irrevocably,
was that past tense?
oh, way past tense.
Oh, oh, she's doubling down on it now.
Yeah. Sort of, trashed it. And as we'll get into, we've got some very legendary quotes from her.
Also, with the Gaga stuff, I feel like, yes, it was like someone's fault that like they got compared.
Yeah.
But there was also, speaking of
To be
iconic
fair,
quotes,
there was a quote from Christina that did not help.
there was a quote. And also, too, do you remember the performance that she did of Genie 2.0? I believe it was the VMAs.
Yes, it was amazing. Well, I stand Genie 2.0, but
So
like
good.
that performance was where it all kicked off, the comparison.
Right? I think that was it. And
Because she wore a very the Fame era outfit.
yes, which like I don't even know. As I look back, I don't even know if that was her fault because
Right.
we know how Christina is. I don't know if she's really paying attention to everyone else. So
No,
someone
I
else
don't think so either.
probably she is now. She's
Yeah.
like shouted out like various queens like Rosalia and like etc. But I'm like someone could have just put her in that outfit thinking like because in 2008 that was like when Gaga was the Fame, she was very underground.
Yeah.
Someone like a stylist could have just slapped that wig on her head and like put that catsuit on her, like whatever it was, and like the cape.
It was super like looking back, it was incredibly the blunt bob,
Yep.
blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
super
Ex-Tina Gaga.
ex-Tina Gaga. And it's super unfortunate because, as you're saying, like Gaga was kind of only among the gays at that time. She hadn't even fully had her full mainstream takeover.
We need to find the gay who caused this all
Oh.
and cancel him.
We do.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He's probably mingling with everyone else outside right now in Hell's Kitchen. But
no, because it's iconic. So like we stand.
oh, I love that performance.
It's so good.
Yeah, but
she looks like Gaga.
I believe that's probably her only performance of Keeps Getting Better.
Yeah, but she said in a quote, which it makes sense because like, yes, she did look like Gaga. So someone asked her about it. And in 2008, she says, quote, that's funny that you mentioned that. This person was just brought to my attention not too long ago. I'm not quite sure who this person is, to be honest. I don't know if it is a man or a woman. I just wasn't sure. I really don't spend any time on the internet, so I guess I live a little under a rock in that respect, which like, if you look at that at the surface, it's problematic. but
Yes.
like it's also not a lie. Like
It's probably not a lie.
I genuinely feel like she had no idea because she's
No.
not paying attention, like she's not as engaged
She's like
then.
listening to Etta James on vinyl and like playing with her baby.
Yeah, and
And
like listening to herself singing Reflection from the Mulan
yeah,
soundtrack. She wasn't like on Instagram, and I mean, was there even Instagram in 2010?
no.
No.
Yeah.
Was there?
No, maybe.
Were we still on AOL in 2000? No, there was
No.
Tumblr.
Right. I
The
just
point
think
being,
that
she was not on socials the way that
no.
she is
Do I think
engaged
that it
now.
was sort of Mariah level shade? Yes. And that is
Oh,
something that our divas excel at, is being like, I don't even know that person.
yeah.
I
Like, I don't
don't
know
know
if that's a
her.
man or a woman,
Right.
even though like the name is
That's
Lady Gaga.
right. That was meant to just show how much she doesn't know who that person is. And
Right.
it's iconic. And then she says something again in 2010.
This one's pretty legendary. So she's asked about Gaga again in 2010, and she says, "quote Oh, the newcomer." Aguilera chuckles, which I still haven't got my Christina chuckle down. Oh, although, oh wait, no, because my phone's recording you. Shit, I could play the you know the quote where she's like, "Denise."
Denise!
Yes. Yeah. Basically that. I think she's really fun to look at. So like I feel like she was being playful and wasn't trying to be mean.
Yeah.
But then when the whole Perez thing and the whole post came out and it was like she's copying her, it was like because Christina is very arrogant and confident and cocky, and we'll get into
Yeah.
all that whole thing. I think the public was just like, "Oh, you're copying Lady Gaga."
I think so too. And I think she was a bit resentful. She'd been in the game for a decade of hits at that point. And to have a newcomer come along and be like, you're trying to be like this person who's been in the game for 3 weeks, has to feel disrespectful. So I get it. Did it come off well for Christina? No, it didn't.
No.
Because it comes off as bitter and resentful. And unfortunately, Gaga was rising so fast at that time. So it felt like, not that Christina was old, but it felt like she was the old guard that was like trying to block Gaga's shine as she came up, even though it was unfair.
I agree.
And then later, I know we don't have this written down, but Gaga was on Watch What Happens Live post Lotus. This was a few years later.
Was
And
this
she
applaud, Gaga?
This was applaud,
Yeah.
Gaga. Gaga told Andy that she was a big fan of Christina, and from the beginning, there was controversy about the two of them, and she felt that it was very unfair to Christina to pit them against each other. She apologized for anything that anyone ever said to her because of Gaga's existence, and hoped that she never felt bad, because then she said she was singing I Turn to You when I was 15, and she's an inspiration.
But same.
Same. And that point on would lead very quickly into the very iconic Do What You Want, the voice performance duet, which the stuff of legend. But
do you
and so that's
I
the
will
whole-
never I literally can remember
were
it
together
like
for
it
it.
was fucking yesterday. We were in Las Vegas. We were in that hotel, like rumors. We got stuck because of the blizzard. Was it
Yep.
the blizzard, right?
The blizzard was in the East Coast. We were supposed to leave. Instead, we were stuck in Las Vegas an extra day. And the Do What You Want performance happened on The Voice. And I still have a video of you coming through the doors, singing Christina's part.
We were all so happy that day.
We were.
We were all so happy that day. It's actually hard to even imagine how terrible things would soon become.
Arguably, things went downhill.
Brittany
in
Jean would come
the
out.
world.
That's what happened.
Exactly.
So
love-
fucking iconic.
Yeah. So there's a whole redemption arc to their own beef, which is really nice, that I feel has been resolved since. And there has been like reckoning with the blogger who shall not be named. And
Because
yeah,
they
but
really are, they're so different. That's why I never understood. Like, I kind of was like, oh, okay, there's like moments where it kind of looks like Bad Romance and whatever. But I'm like, the only thing that was similar was that like there was fire in Bad Romance on the bed and there was fire in the closet in Not Myself Tonight.
well, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but there was a very specific time in stan culture where all we did, and I don't mean us personally, but all we did as stands was take screen caps of videos and be like, this person copied this person. Do you remember that? Like, not a video could come out without us being like, that's a reference to that. That's that. There was like a whole blog that was dedicated to people ripping off Brandy, I think.
Yes. Okay, now that I
We
think about it, I'm probably guilty of doing all of that. So
I'm sure, but like this was like the thing to do. Is like now we have like fan cam spamming on in like K-pop wars, but like
it was on
then
Oh No
was
They
like,
Didn't.
yeah, totally. It was
I
like
remember the one that was like
comparison.
a thread of Beyonce copying Britney, and people were
Oh, that one.
pissed.
People still, the Britney fans who have a sense of humor and can't, like any other pop stars, still go off about Beyonce. But yeah, I think this was in the midst of all of that, and that was like, it was just blog culture. That was like what it was at the time, and it was so misguided like that. There deserves to be a reconsideration of Bionic for that reason. But I think it's time to move on with maybe some more gems from her own mouth.
All right. So at the same time that Not Myself Tonight is being compared to Gaga, there's already this like awkwardness, tension in the blog. Stans are fighting, etc.
The girls are fighting.
Yeah. There's a couple things that happen that don't really make things better.
No.
So teeing up to the release of Bionic, it just was like, I mean, looking back, it's all fucking legendary, and that's why it gets its own episode right now in this moment. But like,
Yeah.
at that time, the general public of,
Locals.
Straight people.
same thing, weren't really having it. So there is another quote, and this is still on YouTube if you would like to look it up and see the visual of it. But while promoting Not Myself Tonight, Christina Aguilera is doing a press interview, and someone in the background coughs, and she says, quote,
"Pour a lot into your world and see what you're all about and connect with you musically on in your world." And coughing during my interview, really? Shoot him.
And does the driest laugh, but means it with her whole heart.
And I was like, I don't think she's joking.
No, she was not joking. She was in the middle of being like, don't kill me, fighters. She has a very Christina way of answering questions about art and music. And I know it's true, where she's just like, I just want to feel this moment and the experience and the art and the vision. And like, somebody just interrupts and she's like, really?
Coronavirus.
Yeah. She must have a lot of those moments now, right? With everyone coughing. So she gets interrupted, and this is now a meme.
Yeah.
And it's legendary.
It is.
But it doesn't help. It definitely adds to my Legendtina. Oh, I didn't even like. So I had a little phase as a blogger where I wrote a series about Christina Aguilera called Legendtina.
So fucking good. It's honestly your best work.
Where I really just went off the deep end and imagined Christina at her most inflated ego as Legendtina. And it was very entertaining for me.
You don't have to imagine it. It's there.
Yes.
Let's be
real. The thing is, she kept doing things that sort of heightened the character. And she kind of kept becoming Legendtina. These diva-esque things were only adding fuel to like my fanfic about her like storming off of interviews and like plotting the demise of other pop stars. It all came from this era and into Lotus of her doing things on camera that were just iconic.
Yeah. Yes.
So now we get some promo performances. We're in May.
Yes. So, what a legendary time. So in May, and I have another random ass story to share about this one.
Oh,
so, yeah. And this is kind of embarrassing, but like you know what? It's a moment. So in May, Christina is booked to be the guest and perform on Oprah. And this is when Oprah was at Radio City. And they put out this thing, and I don't even know where I saw it. I feel like it must have been on Oh No They Didn't. But there was a thing on Oprah's website that said, do you want tickets to see Christina Aguilera perform at Radio City? Fill out this form and tell us why you are the biggest Christina fan, and we'll give you tickets. So I wrote this thing. I remember writing in this paragraph, and I was like, I live in New York. I just graduated college here, and I don't call her Christina. I call her Legendtina. And I wrote it in all caps, and I got tickets, and I went to go see this, and I was in the first mezzanine, I think, of Radio City, and there was like all these Karens, you know, they were there to see their Oprah, and it was me and one of my friends. We were like the only gays there, and it was fucking everything. It was the first time I've ever seen her, possibly the only time, maybe. Have I seen her again?
Yes, you went to the Liberation Tour.
Oh my God. Duh.
I'm keeping your track of your itinerary.
Yeah, it's been a long decade.
It has.
And she performed Not Myself Tonight, but it had the woohoo intro with like the green lasers. And this is probably on YouTube, I feel like. And she had like the slicked boots, and it was like very bionic. But then her interview was like super conservative mommy.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was so good. It just like
We'll
did not make any
super
sense.
clip of that. Yeah.
It made no sense at all being on Oprah at Radio City.
No, it didn't. This was like the worst era to be on Oprah because it was the most like sexually liberated. Well, no, she's done that before, but like, you know, it was just like not really an Oprah era.
No, not at all.
That would be like a Britney Jean. This is not that time.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No.
But it was legendary.
So we get like a disjointed performance there, and then we move into June and we get a truly legendary performance at the MTV Movie Awards, which, why it was at the Movie Awards, and well, because the album was coming out, okay. But anyway, it...
Theories.
Yes. We get a medley of Bionic intro of... I love this intro, by the way. It's so fierce. Her looking up becomes a meme, a gif of her shooting up. It's like Legendtina ? And then her face comes up really fast. Very Who Owns the Throne. Into Not Myself Tonight, into Woohoo.
Mm-hmm. And she's got the pussy heart.
The pussy heart at the end is phenomenal.
Oh my God. That just like flew out of me. Is that inappropriate? Oops.
Oh
my God, I literally was... She has a heart on her area.
It's a vajazzled heart.
That lights up.
And the whole time that she's performing, she also has light up gloves, which are very cool also.
And this is the look that Pheromone, not copied, but like wore.
Was inspired by, did an homage.
I think on Watch What Happens Live, right?
Yes.
When we had that Xtina drag pageant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A deep reference because she is a super fan.
Yeah, with like the that like short hair with like the curl in the beginning, the front, not the beginning.
Yes.
This is the beginning.
This is also the beginning of the red microphone, Bionic Red. I would also say that the chair that she comes in on, Britney saw that and was like, I'll take that for holding against me. That like revolving chair moment.
She's like, oh, I can just sit while I do this? Great. Get it. Larry,
get the chair.
Chairs. Larry.
Yeah, so we get a very fierce performance that I believe is very much overlooked and doesn't get the love it deserves. And then we get closer to the release date, or on the release date, we get the Today Show performance.
Yeah, this was Today Show Summer Series, and this was the launch week performance.
Yes.
And I couldn't even tell you what happened in these performances because the only moment that I remember is the legendary video of Christina throwing gum at her fans.
Yes, she is about to sing, I believe it was You Lost Me. Yes, it actually, there's a clip of her at the beginning, because what we see, the legendary clip is from a fan in the audience, but literally on the broadcast, they catch her grabbing gum, quickly throwing it into the crowd before singing You Lost Me. What happens there is she didn't realize she had, not enough time to get the gum out of her mouth. Or maybe she did and she thought we would appreciate it. But that certainly added to the Legendtina character, is gum throwing forever.
It was... I think the funniest part about it is like, You know, because I've like worked in
Everyone
like
in the crowd's
live
reaction.
production. Yeah, the
Yeah.
best part about it is like the crowd's reaction. And like I've worked in live production, and like when you're on a stage, there is empty space in front of you. Like it's
Yeah.
not like, you know, this crowded thing. Like there's security, there's a barrier. Like you don't see it on TV because of the way that things are filmed. But like she made a choice to like
Mhm.
not throw it like in front of her, just like where the security was. She hurled it at her fans. Like there's a very like there's literally like fucking 5 feet of space in front of you, or just like swallow it.
Yeah.
Just be like
Nope.
gulp.
And that just adds to the whole "you're welcome" character of her being like, "I know you want this
And
piece of gum."
you see her in the clip like think about it. Like she gets it and
Yep.
she thinks, and she throws it at her fans. It's iconic.
It definitely is a moment that will live on in history.
And this is like
If you're looking for it, by the way, it has 500,000 views. It's called, which is probably more than Not Myself Tonight. And Christina Aguilera
300,000 are
throws
from
her
me.
fans.
Is that the title of it?
Yes. Uploaded on June 8th, 2010. So literally the moment it happened.
I literally want Christina Aguilera to throw gum at me.
Oh, absolutely. Especially after all this time of poking fun at her. I deserve it.
Yeah. And this is also, I feel like, where, at least most prominently, we got the red anal bead
Yes.
microphone. Like, this was not its debut, but like, this is her moment where she like made her moment.
Yeah, because of the gum, everything in that scene is sort of immortalized. The
Yes.
outfit. She's wearing the
bob,
X-Tina
the
ring.
hair.
She's wearing a lip shirt, the studded pants. And so for people who don't know what we're referencing, throughout this entire era, and then just other eras because she likes it so much, it is a mic stand made out of bionic lips that looks like anal beads. And
Yeah, it's just straight up. It's like a 6-foot long anal bead red
anal bead mic
microphone
stand.
that has traveled the world. Do you remember when she
Who knows
brought
where
that
it's
shit
been?
to
It's just...
what was that like big moment where she sang with like J Hud? Everyone just has, you know, like a standard live performance microphone, and then there's just like the red anal bead microphone. Like, I'm like, you are such an asshole. You like, we're like, no, I'm bringing my own mic with me. And she literally takes this microphone around with her for years.
Years, yeah. She's in Lotus era with the anal mic beads.
Yeah. It is
wonderful.
It has traveled the world, that microphone, and we stan. Like,
We love to see
her
it.
anal bead microphone is like Britney's guitar.
I mean, yes, it's her guitar. It's become her signature mode of performing, like that red microphone, just like Britney's, I guess, her like ear microphone that everyone has, the like on the ear
right.
microphone.
It's like the prop that will never go away.
Yeah. So we have all that leading up to Bionic. We also get a tour announcement.
Which never winds up happening.
No, it doesn't. But we do know somebody, at least one or two people, who have framed Bionic Tour tickets.
Really?
Yes, I know one person at least who does.
Do you?
I do not. I wish I did. No, it is a diehard fighter that I met like
Oh,
a
Matt.
year after Bionic. Well, yes, there was nothing. It was a friend of a friend, and I was given a tour of the shrine in his home. And among
Yes,
among
yes,
the-
yes.
yes, there was a framed Bionic Tour ticket, which is legendary. Yes. So what happens is we get the tour announcement. It is then canceled. The reason given is that she has burlesque coming, and they had to shoot it and promote it.
Which is half true, I feel like.
I feel like it's half true. I feel like she could have done the tour if she wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, this is also, it was probably 3 or 4 years since she last toured, but it wasn't that crazy that she hadn't been. But she won't have gone on the tour for a decade, I think, over a decade, until she finally goes out for Liberation.
Oh, so fucking good.
It's crazy, though. Like, she ends up not going on tour forever, ever. But yeah, Bionic Tour is canceled. Burlesque happens, which obviously will be its own episode eventually. The only movie T. Kyle likes, and the only movie musical that I have time for.
Same.
That ends up becoming, unfortunately, quite a meme.
It does. That is where we coined the term Bionic Tour tease.
Yeah, that
Which, like, what does tease like even mean? Like, I say it all the time, and I'm like, I don't really know what this means.
it's like the vibes or the shades of this, like it
Okay.
reminiscent of
Like,
yeah,
the flavors of
the
tease.
flavor of this exactly.
Okay, there we go. You know, you learn something new every day.
Um, unfortunately, there were a few graphics made of Christina on a small stage in front of an empty crowd around that time.
Yeah.
That became memes. They would eventually become like Fifth Harmony tours.
Well,
They've gone the distance. Yeah, it was a cruel, cruel time for her. People really dug into the Bionic Tour being canceled as a joke, but she'll have the last laugh because she has a Bionic medley in Las Vegas, and I believe was it on Liberation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, I would say it's like a heavily Bionic and like appreciation moment. So, you know, she gets to have it. And as the years go on, obviously the album aged like fine wine, and she'll continue to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
there's only one thing left to do.
Let's get glam.
Yeah, we got to dive into the album that has given us everything that we've talked about already.
Yeah, it's truly so much of our lingo is based on Bionic. And also, can we just say, diving into the album beginning with the cover art.
It is so fucking good.
I mean, that is an incredible cover. I don't care what anyone has to say. And then if you actually zoom in, so for those who are not acquainted, it's a face forward bionic red lip, and half of her face is robotic. And if you zoom in, there are small things that are meant to be like a little more personal to her. There's like references. I think there's like a gramophone. I think there's like something that's supposed to reference Baby Max or something.
A gum wrapper.
Like a gum.
No, I'm kidding.
Somebody coughing.
Yeah.
I love the art, and obviously inside, as many of you may know, I do own the Bionic Fan Edition. I own several of them for some reason. I don't know how it's happened over. I have at least two.
I don't even own that, so
you know what? Life has thrown things my way that I don't. It's a blessing. It's a vinyl box set with like 50 pictures inside of it, because this whole era is so cool. The whole photo shoot of her doing like, and it's not shade, it's just very Madonna, like express yourself / human nature / erotica, I would say. Very like,
it's like making futuristic X's. Madonna.
Yeah. Totally my vibe, and I love it.
The teasers were really good too. I remember like the teasers were animated, so it was like all the gears were like turning, and there was really good remixes on them.
Yes.
I think they're on Twitter now. Like there was like Bionic teasers like last week that people were tweeting, be like, "Oh my god, remember how good this teaser was?" I'm like, yeah.
No, it was a really cool, fun campaign that like was derided by like comparisons and unfortunately some things she said in the press, but it's like such a fun album. So I think we should dive in.
Yeah. Track 1, well, she's called Bionic, so
the concept of Bionic is basically
yeah.
It really goes off with a bang from the beginning. You have to give it to her. She loves a dramatic opening. This is the moment that she takes over your mind frame. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bionic. At one point she said in an interview, it's the beginning of a super fun ride you go on as soon as you pop the disc in, or start playing it on your iPod, of course. I'm so old school. I mean, she makes so many references to the fact that she is old school during this period especially, and obviously Back to Basics. Like, that's only adds fuel to the theory that she literally did not know who Gaga was.
I mean, I really don't think she knew.
No. But it's such a fun track. We get... This is also... It's throughout her whole career, but, like, we get tons of "say" in this
We really
song.
do.
XXXTTTIIINNA. Say.
That is, like, her signature. It's like, ha, and say. And I don't know where it came. Like, it's so weird, but it's so Christina.
It's like a space time. It's like a time filler or something, like a callback thing that she wants the crowd to sing along to. It's obviously something I relied on very heavily in my Legendtina fanfic. Say is like...
I have to admit, I didn't even recognize the say in Bionic until you just said that.
Yep.
XXXTTTTINA say. Oh, like because it's so hard. And like the pinky flick.
Yes.
Legendary.
She just has very signature things.
TTTTKYLE.
Say.
Say.
I love that this song makes no sense. Bionic, so damn bionic.
See, I feel like this is an intro that's just
Yes.
extended. Like it's an interlude, not an interlude, but like it's an...
No, totally.
She loves an interlude moment. This is like an extended intro.
And it makes perfect sense coming off of the pop art of Keeps Getting Better and that whole visual. Like, this feels exactly where that leaves off. Genie 2.0, Keeps Getting Better, into this makes total sense. She made a perfect transition, in my opinion, like sonically. That's our Bionic intro. Not to be confused with Lotus intro.
No, which is legendary, and we need to discuss her at some point.
Then we get into Not Myself Tonight. Obviously, we've discussed already.
We stan.
Paulo de Don did it, who obviously, as everyone knows, did Nicole Scherzinger's Whatever You Want, most famously known for that.
Wow.
Whatever You Like. Why did I just say that? Oh my God. Whatever You Like. It's so well known that I accidentally called it something else.
Well, you can call it whatever you like.
Yes, and it is available now on Amazon as a pre-sale for Her Name is Nicole, coming soon.
Oh.
And Not Myself Tonight is, in my opinion, also is kind of an intro. It's like
teeing up the era.
It really is. Setting herself free. It's an anthem. We love it. And we'll just keep on going to the next main event.
Woohoo. The
intro to Woohoo is legendary. And it reminds me of her EMA's performance with all of the monks. I believe it was monks or priests.
Oh my God.
It's a very religious moment of like, woo.
Dun, 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 dun,
and then she busts out
Woohoo.
in like, a slutty outfit. Yeah.
All the boys think it's cake when they taste my woohoo.
I believe this is quoting Mahatma Gandhi when she says, you don't even need a plate, just your face. Ha.
Okay, so you know what's like so weird? There's certain songs where I'm like, this is pornographic, and I
was
can't.
saying, this must be very triggering for you.
But like, I am all for
thank God
everything on Bionic. I'm like, all the boys think it's cake when they taste my woohoo. Like, I'm so into all of this. But like, you put on Inside Out by Britney Spears, and I'm like, this is pornographic, turn it off. I don't want to hear that. But like with Christina, I'm like, fucking put a LED heart on my pussy too. Like, hell yeah.
Now, Woohoo is important for a lot of reasons, not only about
she made
cake.
Nicki Minaj.
She is arguably the first mainstream pop artist to have her on his feature, period. Before that, it was,
Jeffree Star.
Before that was Jeffree Star, which, like, Lollipop Luxury forever will always stand. And also, I think, what was popular at the time? It was, like, Bedrock, and, like, I'm thinking of, like, the earliest Nicki, and, like...
Monster.
Yeah, that was even, I think, right after, though. I will say I was a Barb from the beginning, and I was on the mixtape journey, Itty Bitty Piggy, like all of it, and then Jeffree kind of boosted it a little more with the album, and then there were songs like Bedrock, I think that was popular at the time, but this was really it. This was her first main girl feature, I believe, aside from About My Face with M.I.A, which is crazy that they collaborated at all.
I know.
And she
was darling #1 17 years. Oh my God. Back to the Billboard Hot 100 #1 song, which is difficult to get. Not everybody has that.
This is like fantastic Nicki in fine form, very her, doing voices, this is before anybody knew who the hell she was, and she's like going off doing 10 million voices, like just perfect. And yeah, this is a song about getting eaten out, so...
Yeah, like literally.
It's like, yeah. I wish she just like said that in an interview once. But also it was by Esther Dean co-wrote it, who was truly the queen of like pornographic songs at the time. She was Rude Boy with Rihanna. It was like all of that. Truly the reign of Esther Dean. And then we move on to Elastic Love. A rubber band is what I call your love. This is okay. Elastic Love is like when she said that this album was experimental, this is her really going off and doing something that you wouldn't expect her to do vocally, which is restrain herself. She does, she's sing talking basically like M.I.A., who co-wrote this. I think one of our biggest things about this album is that it was ahead of its time because it also featured so many people that really were just either exploding on their own at the time or
They're
just
like bubbling.
Yeah, and M.I.A. obviously had paper planes. Like I remember that being a thing in college, but it was still very cool to have M.I.A. at the time, like riding high off of paper planes, and something that she worked on for Christina. And it's about appliances, office supplies.
Love is pulling like a rubber band. She performed this on Liberation Tour.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is my song dedicated to my resistance bands now that I work out with. It's very I mean, as far as cool and edgy and futuristic, I feel like this fits that vibe.
Yeah, this is like part of, which we'll talk about that quote like at the end, but like when she called Bionic ahead of its time, like this is one of those songs that stands out for me.
Yeah.
And this is like
Absolutely.
very different for Christina to do, like this kind of a sound.
Exactly. Like she did not want to give you big belting.
And like, what does the song mean? Like, what is Elastic Love? Like what?
Well, a rubber band was an analogy. You can even say it's a metaphor.
Oh,
I don't actually know. It's about elastic love, such a spastic love. I love the bridge. I love paper clips. They couldn't even hold us together.
Paper clips, they couldn't even hold us together. It's just that it like bounces back and forth like a rubber band.
I guess so. One cool, well, not cool, but interesting thing is M.I.A., after this came out and actually leaked, she was disappointed that Christina didn't want to do trademark like belting. She thought she was going to be able to get Christina to do it, and she didn't want to do it.
Well, she's got a point.
I'm glad. Yeah, she wanted to try something different. So, yeah.
It worked too, though, because like when she did this on Liberation Tour, I remember like all of the fighters were like, thank you for recognizing this track from Bionic. Because there's a lot of tracks on Bionic.
Something that vocally the crowd can sing along to.
Yeah. Oh, I just got that. I was like, oh, wait. What are you saying about my vocals?
Saying you would do an amazing Elastic Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Love.
Well, I think it's time to move on to a favorite.
Yes.
You've got to
dance today, get naked, dance today for me.
Yes, this song, it shares a spiritual sister with a certain song called Get Naked on Blackout. I Got a Plan, Get Naked. For this song, she's, talking about getting naked in Spanglish.
This song is so fucking good.
It really is. I have to stand also her explanation of this song in an interview. She said it's a really fun club record that I wrote specifically for, the clubs. So she's also borrowing from Bernie's Circus.
She wanted to say gays.
She did for the clubs.
Yes.
She also said that this was sort of
really funny, Brad. Oh my god, that was really so bad, but like it's so funny. Sorry,
it's so true too. She also said it was kind of for her Latin fans because they keep asking her, and we're still asking, by the way, Christina, like when's your next record in Spanish? So this was a holdover. Meanwhile, she still hasn't released Mi Reflejo 2, but it's fine.
That's true. It's in the vault apparently.
Yeah, exactly. But this obviously helped me. I was still studying Spanish at the time, and it was very helpful to learn phrases. Yeah, I studied Spanish for about 8 or 9 years, but I didn't know, like dámelo duro. I didn't have that in my vocabulary yet, so that was helpful, as well as quítate la ropa and all of that. That was just really helpful for my journey in life.
Wait, so you took classes?
In Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I minored in Spanish.
Just to learn how to say, are you a bottom?
Yeah.
You could have Googled that. Save yourself some money.
Oh, no. But actually, true.
Anyway, this
Yeah,
is
I
not
went to
about
school to
that.
be a translator, but it was for Japanese. That didn't pan out either. That's a whole other story. But anyway, Spanish as well. And obviously this really did it for me. And we love a song called Get Naked.
We do. We stan.
We do stan.
This is, I feel like, a standout for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like such a party song, and like I feel like it should have had a different life. Like I feel like it should have been a single for one thing, and could have been a moment.
Yeah, well, the album had like already flopped before
Exactly. And yeah.
anyone made it past track 3.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why we're here now.
That's why we're here to say play Desnudite at the club.
Next year.
Next year, yeah.
11 years of Bionic.
Moving on to the first spoken word interlude of the album, which
Fashion is a lifestyle.
You have to live it. You have to love it. Life's all about love and glamour.
Now, I will say, Christina is like a queen of interludes.
Yes.
Which like are not normally done well. Like Chromatica 1, 2, and 3 like did that. But like Christina is a queen of like good interludes.
Yeah,
Through
it really
all of her albums, like Stripped, Back to Basics.
Fuck You Scott Storch interlude, Lotus intro, all of that. Agreed.
A true artist.
It really
a true lover
comes
of
to
music.
tell you that true lovers of fashion need to listen up because we're about to be inspired by Vogue and get glam.
Oh wait, did you just say fashion is a lifestyle?
High fashion! So editorial. Guys, this is awesome. This is a billboard. This is super high fashion.
Oh my God, that's so high fashion.
So high fashion. This is our high fashion editorial moment because we are.
We're here. This is the track that gets the title.
Wait, she literally almost says F words here. She says, "Glam I wrote for all my fun fashion friends."
No, she did not.
She said that F word. Yes, she did. Fracking? The fracking?
Fun fashion friends. That's what I'm going to call everyone now.
Did you see all those fun fashion friends outside Hell's Kitchen?
God, we're going to get canceled for this whole episode.
She wrote this she said one of her favorite designers is Galliano, and she wanted to give him something to send his models down the runway. So glam was inspired by him and her friends that she's accumulated in the fashion world.
Live it, love it, breathe it, work it, glam.
This is, in my opinion, it's obviously not a ripoff of Vogue, but I do feel like she was inspired by Vogue to be very like, now snap, clap, like very like pose.
Now,
very that.
I'm going to say something here. The fighter is going to jump out.
Uh-oh.
Christina was ahead of her time in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
This album was like a gay anthem before all the girls in 2011 were like, you're a firework and we are who we are.
I agree.
Which, like, I stan all of that, by the way. I'm not trying to like, whatever. But like glam was
Unleash the
so
deep inside. She was saying
gay rights.
Gay rights. Go to
Live
vodka
it,
soda
love
bottom.
it, breathe it, work it, glam.
Ready, set, now go, bitches.
And like I remember hearing this out at fucking Bartini.
Oh,
do you remember
yeah.
Bartini?
Absolutely. They only played Starships, but they sometimes played this.
Okay, so if you are listening and you have been to Bartini, I want you to tweet us a martini glass. You get it? Like like a bar, because that's what it's like inspired by, is like a martini. They used to play glam at Bartini, and literally gay rights.
So gay rights. She just throws in every fashion term. Very snap, pose, give them what you got, just all that. It actually reminds me of Vanity 6 makeup. That's a deep reference for anyone who knows that one. It's very just like throwing out terms like that. And that's why it kind of reminds me of Vogue too.
Oh, it's so good.
It's all an attitude. And speaking of an attitude, that's actually a pretty good segue into...
Ooh. I'm a prima donna. I can rule the
as
world.
You just demonstrated, I just think of growling. This song is like growling.
This one's another standout for me.
This one is getting a little bit back to basics, a little bit back to her more how we know her voice to be. It's a little more like rowdy, a little more stripped, I would say. It's a very I'm unstoppable, like I take over the world. And we get some really fun / sometimes annoying ad libs from Lil Jon in the background.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's like, work your body. She's in her bag. She's very like feeling herself here. Not that she's not throughout the whole album, but prima donna.
She's a prima donna. She can rule. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got that kick. Like,
So
it's
yeah,
the
that's
same
why I say
kick
it
that
reminds me
like
of
Gaga
Christina.
has, and like, right on me. Ugh. You know, I wanted to be a vocalist back in the day, so this is my chance.
Yeah, you are proving
I
it
hope
right
I
now.
did a good job.
It's also worth mentioning that she recorded, obviously, as all artists do in different studios. She recorded this in a place called the Red Lips Room in Beverly Hills.
Oh my God. The red anal bead microphone room.
Yes. Legendary. And now,
Speaking
it's
of red
time
lips, do you remember when we went to Starbucks
to try and find her.
Try and find her, and
Yes.
the red lips were on the cup.
I mean, too iconic. Yes, she ran over to the Rockefeller Center Starbucks and left a cup with a kiss mark on it.
The lighting of the tree at the Rockefeller Center means so much to me.
So much to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Britney Spears.
Welcome to New York. Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year, and the great tradition of the lighting of the tree in Rockefeller Center means so much to me.
The Starbucks inside Rockefeller Center means so much to me.
Yeah. What was that even for?
I'm trying to remember. I was just thinking that it
But
had
like
to be
the
something.
two of us like
liberation.
fucking bolted to Rockefeller Center.
I literally ran to
And I have photos of like her Starbucks cup with just like a kiss on it. And it was like Xtina.
Oh God.
And we're like, oh my God, we're here to like see Christina. And the baristas are like, okay.
We were like, so do you want to order or?
Yeah. I'm a barista. I can stir your drink. Anyway. Speaking of frappuccinos and morning desserts.
Good segue. We are back into another early. This is what inspired Kelly Rowland's coffee. This is This is what some morning fun. A little foreplay before we get into the main song.
Yeah, another perfectly executed interlude.
Yes, leading into
come on, getting ready for work, or whatever she says. I forget.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, so sultry. But then we get into Sex for Breakfast, which like
one of the most iconic titles.
You would think that I'd be like, ew, gross, skip.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this is so Xtina.
It's extreme. Like, this reminds me of a stripped, slower moment. This is get mine, get yours, kind of like.
Oh my God, I love get mine, get yours.
Very sexual fulfillment. Yes, it's about sex for breakfast, and not a very subtle title.
No.
This is more showing off the vocals, being sensual. I love any time that she mentioned this being a personal album. Most of the album is just straight up about sex.
Yeah, basically.
Not much to say about it other than like it's really the point where the album. It's a mood, and it really is the point where she's getting you prepared for the balladry to come.
Work.
Yes, she's also getting you ready for work. And speaking of things lifting up.
No, I will say this is like the only part of the album where I'm like, I don't understand the switch. Like there's not an interlude that's like taking you out of like that moment and like putting you into this like new moment that we're about to get.
Agreed.
But the next track is Lift Me Up, which is a ballad.
It is a ballad. It is by Linda Perry, who famously did Beautiful with her. So there's a history there in this song. Now, she performed this during the Hope for Haiti telethon, and I cried. I will admit. I think this is a very, very underrated Christina ballad. I listen to it still. I think there's something so plain and stripped, if you will, about it. It's just very like, there's something about it that is so vulnerable that I seriously love. It kind of reminds me of how I feel about Castle Walls with her, where she's just like, just get me through this night. She really, for an album that is so Legendtina, over the top ego, I love how completely opposite this is. That is like the crash afterward. So I am a huge Lift Me Up fan. I think it was really beautiful when she did it live for the telethon as well. So check that out. And
it's also the first ballad at this point.
Yes.
Which for Christina is like
a lot of restraint was shown. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a lot of restraint in this album. And then we get towards like the middle and she's like, okay, yeah, I can sing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. No pun intended. But Then we move into another interlude, which is
Papa.
adorable. Sing, Papa. Very iconic that she's making her child already sing on record. Baby Max is already
Blue
a number
Ivy
3
shaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Ahead of its time.
Features the ex-husband as well as Baby Max. That's what you do on a personal album.
Yeah, these interludes are short. They're just kind of like...
Yeah, mercifully.
And then this brings us into All I Need.
Now, this is really where all the Sia is coming in. And to that point, this is really Sia's first mainstream moment. This is way before Chandelier.
Perfume.
This is before the wig. Well, yes, I should say Perfume. I'm sorry.
Her biggest
but
hit.
Yes. This is before Pretty Hurts. This is before the wig.
Sia did Pretty Hurts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, God, I'm going to get fucking scalped for... All I think of with Pretty Hurts is that video of Wendy Williams. Where she's like, oh. The dive. Anyway, sorry, that's a different moment.
But we've said it about Nicki, M.I.A. Like, Sia, obviously, she was having a moment. We Are Born had just come out. But, like, this, once again, Christina, ahead of her time, this became the blueprint for every pop star to have a Sia song. Every pop star.
Yeah. She was the first one.
Yeah.
Because Sia had also, at this moment, had Breathe on Me.
Breathe Me.
Oh.
You're thinking of another legend.
Yeah. Sorry. Breathe Me.
Breathe Me.
Which is big.
Huge moment at the end of
Massive.
6 Feet Under that catapulted her to stardom on a whole different level. And then this was like, oh, every pop star saw that she did like at least 4 ballads on this album. Was like, let me snag her. This is a really sweet song. I don't think it's my favorite one, but on the album of the ballads, but it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this album has a great flow.
It does.
I feel like
this carrying you into the very personal, like me and my son sort of vibes. I would say that this kind of carries us into baby territory. Actually, it'll come again at the end of Vanity, but we'll get into that. We have All I Need, and then we go into I Am.
This is like very vulnerable, Xtina.
Extremely. Sia once again. Sia got something out of her, as she does for many of the pop stars. I love the pre-chorus. The love me or leave me. Like, that is very good.
Take me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. See through. I can hum it. I can't really sing.
Very, very, the meeting between Sia and Christina for me, like, this feels very both of them.
It's subdued too, though.
Yeah, it's restrained. It's very, this is the Christina belt. I mean, I do love when she belts and wails, of course, but I love a restrained Christina because you know that she could, but she doesn't. So a beautiful.
Some would say something. She was restrained and she got a Grammy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
I am vulnerable.
That is the best lyric.
I am Next song.
Now, I feel like this is probably the most well-known Sia Christina ballad on the album. It was given a single treatment.
Mm-hmm. And some performances.
Yes.
A single cover, which I love. The watercolor.
Yeah. Now, the problem I have with it is, for me, it feels like single 5. Like, I feel like you should have had the whole arc of the album before this. I feel like she deflated. And to be fair, it could have been the whole media around this album, but to have it be immediately after Not Myself Tonight was like cutting off the party short.
Well, I feel like because Not Myself Tonight wasn't well received by the locals, that they were like, oh, we need to just go back to Christina singing.
Yeah,
and
to be fair.
No.
Right.
Like, I feel like they were like, oh, just...
Like, she needs to do that again.
Yeah, and I was like, no.
I love the intro. I am done. I love that. This is, as far as like picking which ballad should have been the single, it makes sense to me. This is like a very strong one.
Yeah.
Feels like Our World's Been Infected is very relevant for 2020.
Yeah, because this one's about, now that I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if it's my favorite ballad on this album, but like.
For me, it's Lift Me Up, but You Lost Me, I can see it being the single ballad.
Yeah.
pace-wise, unfortunately, I think they jumped the gun and were worried about perception and wanted to be like, no, she's singing.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But
what a bummer.
It is. And then, to be honest, the album, and certainly these days, could have ended there.
Yeah.
Because it's already quite a thick album. But instead...
This is a really long album.
It is.
Which was Back to Basics.
Oh, her albums go on and on. She's like, I don't come around that often, but when I do, you're going to have 10 hours of music.
We stand.
We have to stand. We also do a 180.
Yeah, this is like...
Basically, she's like, you lost me, and now she's just full on like, I hate men, which is the most relatable thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's a good transition.
It is. And, on this podcast, we do not support or stand men, and this is our theme song for that.
Hate them boys. Hate them. Hate them.
This is very playful, really fun. Kiss off to all men. Boys suck, make me sick. Inflated egos, little dicks. The lyricism of it all. It's very sing-songy kindergarten tease.
She's got a point.
I know every apple here ain't bad, but I found a worm in every single one.
It's a statement.
It is. Every line is actually so good. They're only good for fruit. I mean, bananas.
Like, this album's so gay.
Very. This is such a fun, emancipation anthem after your breakup.
And she belts out in this song, too.
Oh, totally, yeah. Also recorded in the Red Lips room.
Oh.
She was feeling inspired.
Basically, the Red Lips room is the Abbey.
Basically, honestly. And honestly, this album is sequenced so well. She goes from I hate boys to my girls.
This is for the girls, this one.
That should have been the interlude.
Girls.
Once again, and I feel like we're saying this every other song, she is highlighting a ton of people. She has Tigre producing it. She has Peaches featured on it. She shouts them all out in the song towards the end of it. We got Sia and Rolla and Peaches too. Mm-hmm. She shouts them all out. Very, I hate boys, so I'm going to hang out with my girls. With a bunch of queer ladies, which is also very iconic. It's just a very progressive album. We're teasing all the boys on the go. It's a fun one. I would say that this is
it's kind of a filler. But in a way that's shouting out everyone that was involved on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a celebratory song about everyone that's involved on the record.
Yeah.
It's not a single. It's not any of that. But it's like a fun celebration of everyone that she called up to put together Bionic.
Yeah, because Bionic also is... Yeah. And I feel like it's very relevant to have Peaches on this because Peaches she was very permeated throughout our generation. She had a moment on the Mean Girls soundtrack. And I feel like there's no way that her debut didn't inspire this album as a whole. So it's really cool to have her rapping on this for a little.
That song from Peaches on Mean Girls is so legendary.
Yeah. And then I feel like it was just such a thing in our generation. The song Fuck the Pain Away was such a thing. And I feel like it's just sort of a nod to the electro clash sort of sound that was happening at the time, blog culture, all that. It's such a little time capsule of, Lady Tigre, it's totally captures that vibe of that time period.
You at home right now,
mm-hmm.
You're going to hear this and you're going to know exactly what scene this is.
What my overall goal is that
oh God fucking damn it. Wait, that's an ad? Shit. Not sponsored. Mute. Skip.
Every slide should be awesome.
Good. And just hearing that, you can't tell me this album isn't inspired by that because that is that vibe throughout the album.
And I feel like Bionic, this song is kind of an extended interlude,
mm-hmm.
which she's known for.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, it is, like you said, a shout out to everyone involved and inspiring the album. So we do love it for, crossing all the T's and dotting the I's of getting her ducks in order and really being like, these are the women I appreciate, and this is like the sound of this album.
Well, you said crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Well, putting LED hearts on the V's, because V is for vanity.
I think
Thank you, Mom and Daddy.
This might be one of top 3, absolutely one of my absolute favorites of Bionic.
That was fighting for gay rights. And
it literally is fighting for gay rights.
Oh, this song is so fucking good.
Every single line of this song is quotable and shocking. The first time I heard this, I was floored. She's basically doing, I know we don't get our Disney characters right. She's doing Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, which is, of course...
I forget already who was someone in the mirror, even though we like schooled ourselves on it.
We scalped ourselves because that comes from Snow White, the magic mirror. I had to Google, but we're there. Who's the flyest bitch of them all? Never mind, I am. That bitch is so fucking pretty. I am shocked by this song still.
I'm not.
It's iconic.
Well, see, this is the thing that I love so much, and I've always loved this so much. Like with Britney, she is so not cocky. And she's so humble, and she just like had this dream of like, you know, whatever, we talk about this, like the girls know whatever. And Christina was so the opposite always. She knew that she could fucking sing, and she was cocky about it from the get-go. And she was like, I am the artist and I am the singer. It was like the contrast between the two that I loved so much. And this song is like cocky Christina.
Embodied. Like, this is the most cocky that she has ever been. This is Legendtina.
Yeah, and Bionic, she was
superstar
cocky the whole time.
Yeah, this is her drag persona.
If the shoe fits, wear it, bitch.
Has wedding, nuptial, like walking down the aisle music. Read my lips. Moi. I'm a vain bitch.
Like, okay, so wait. Rewind real quick before I try that note again. She literally sets it up. That bum bum ba-dum, bum bum ba-dum. She marries herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then read my lips. Mwah, I'm a vain bitch. And then she just goes into this huge note. And in my opinion, Vanity sums up Christina Aguilera in one song.
Yes.
She's like, I know that I can. We know that she knows that she can sing. And this is the song where she says it.
It's perfect. And it's sealed with a kiss with her doing an outro.
Oh, this outro is fucking iconic.
She's definitely shouting out the gays there.
Mm-hmm.
The legacy lives on, still going strong. Let us not forget who owns the throne. You too, mommy.
Literally telling her own kid to like shout her out.
Unreal. Baby Max steals her thunder by being her biggest fan. It's a perfect song. I'm obsessed with Vanity. People need to know it.
And if they don't like him, tell them. Get in line and kiss your ass, bitch. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And it's, you know, I never think about it because we have the deluxe, but it is such a fierce ending for the album. The
standard really is.
But of course, that's not the true end of the album because we do have the deluxe edition.
We do.
And you might be listening to this on Monday.
Hey, forget about your Monday morning legends only.
I love Monday morning.
I don't.
It actually does pep me up on Mondays if I ever listen to it on a Monday. It's fun. Santa Gold wrote it. Another blast from the past of the 2010 heyday of these like electro clash artists and blog superstars. Well, we'll get into the song that I'm thinking of next. It's very like sing-songy, kindergarten-y. That na-ni, na-na-na-na.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's like playful. It's like also not relatable, but like... Because I'm like, we all have Monday mornings, but like you're Christina, like you don't. So she's like, hey, forget about your Monday morning. And I'm like, I can't.
She's like, I don't know what it's like, but I'm sure it can't be that bad.
Yeah. She's basically like calling us locals by being like, I don't ever wanna be that boring. Hey. And I'm like, oh.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah. She's basically like, sorry, can't relate.
Well, something we can all relate to.
When you talk, all I hear is ba 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 wah, 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 ba ba da.
That's you testing out my sound levels. Yes, Bobblehead is deserves, recognition as like a main Bionic track in my opinion.
Same, agreed.
Uh,
This is her Stupid Girls,
yes.
but like
This
way
is very
cocky and
sexy.
way more like aggressive.
Super aggressive, and we know it's in her.
Yeah.
She controls herself, but we get to this and she just goes off. Body so skinny, but your head so fat.
She, like, I didn't even realize it back then, but like, she really goes in and is basically
really
like, you're all dumb fucks.
Yeah. This is very, like I said, for Monday morning, she gets very like kindergarten taunty. She's like, wah, 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 wah.
Who do we think she was talking about?
Everyone. Just
literally everyone else on the planet. Isn't that like the goal though, to be so skinny with your head so fat?
Right?
Like in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, goals.
I don't know. It feels like a stretch to really say this is one person.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I want to say in 2010 that people were like, is this about Gaga? Is this about Britney? But I just don't feel like I think it's Stupid Girls, like you said. I think it's like, ugh, here's this annoying girl. She doesn't have a brain.
Me.
Right.
Yeah, this was just cocky Christina.
In fact, she might have actually been mocking, if anything, considering when this time was. This was a time of like Jersey Shore and stuff. It's almost like mocking reality TV girls, in my opinion.
Oh my God, that's right.
She says like, wait, like what? I don't get it. Like what? Really? It honestly could be anything from The Simple Life to Jersey Shore to all of that and just trashing that culture. This was like a time of Heidi and Paris and Lindsay.
Oh my God, what if she was dragging Heidi Montag in the song?
It wouldn't be the first diss track about Heidi.
Because like this is the era of body language.
Oh my God.
Let's start the rumor.
Yeah, we're calling her back.
So Christina Aguilera was dragging Heidi Montag with this song called Bobblehead.
Definitely confirmed. It could make sense.
She was totally talking about Brooke Hogan.
It has to be one of the two.
Yeah. I mean, Brooke Hogan was inspired by Stripped Intro.
Right.
Oh my God, I want to get into this. Like, I wish that like we weren't going through a pandemic and that I was famous. So I could be like Christina, Brooke, Heidi. We're all getting in a room together. Would that not be the most legendary special?
Oh, absolutely.
Like everyone who was blonde that looked like Britney and I just get them on reunion couches. Would that not be iconic?
God. It would absolutely be amazing. Original doll.
We would just put all the songs out there and we'd be like, who are you talking about? And we just run through everything.
So we heard you were talking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of vicious, some would say like vultures or birds of prey.
Oh, I love Birds of Prey. This song is so LA. And I'm not from LA, so like I'm just saying that as like an outsider, but like it also reminds me of Selling Sunset, which have you watched it yet?
No, I need to.
God damn it, Brad. It's only 8 hours total.
I'll get on it. Everyone's talking about it.
This song could be an interlude on Selling Sunset. Oh,
well,
it's so good.
Ahead of her time, working with Ladytron. I was a huge Ladytron fan at the time. Destroy Everything You Touch and the albums. At the time, my ex was a huge fan, and so I like would listen to their albums on repeat. And this vibe of the song is like definitely Ladytron. Very like dooming, sort of like there's just something tense about it. Yeah, just everything's not quite what it seems to be. Catching a glimpse at all that lies behind the masks. Obviously, that's more relevant than ever right now. They bite as you bleed, the birds of prey. Also, she references The Matrix in this. She says,
I've never seen The Matrix.
Oh, you really need to see The Matrix. Taking the blue pill only made you cry, and all that the red pill did was make you forget why. Well, in the movie, the blue pill sends him back to his old life where he doesn't know about the true nature of the world, and the red one reveals the truth of the world.
Oh.
And a lot of people talk about that, like in terms of politics in this world today and taking the blue pill versus taking the red pill. And like it gets into it's all of that. But anyway, she references that in the song.
It's also a really simple song. Like it's not.
Yeah, once again, restrained.
I just love the they watch and you feed. They take
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they
very like
need. It's like so
sinister.
yeah, which is so her.
Yeah. It's perfect. Very good. Very Ladytron. Then we move on to her final Sia ballad, I believe this is.
I think this might be my favorite ballad on the album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stronger than ever. It's not mine, but I do think it's strong. It's interesting that this one was a deluxe versus the others, like what their decision making was, but she had so many to choose from and she kept them all, which is crazy.
I feel like this is the one that she belts the most on from the entire album.
I would say it's kind of shades of hurt, maybe?
Yes.
In order to please you, I've abandoned myself. Like very like, oh, she even says, though it used to
hurt me.
Yeah. Kind of Kelly Clarkson in that way. Just scream shouting it all out. Definitely a solid ballad from her, though.
I have like a visual of this one of like her in like a windstorm.
Oh, that would make sense, actually. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it other than it's interesting to think that she put so much Sia on her album. Like she believed in those songs so much. Because I don't think it's just kind of uncommon to have someone on there that much. So she really stands Sia. Oh, and then
it's no brightest morning star.
No, it's not, but she...
That was a joke. That was sarcasm.
And then actually it's more Sia because she does I Am Stripped.
Mm-hmm.
Fan demanded, stripped acoustic.
This is basically Perfume Dreaming Mix. Tease.
Perfume Dreaming Mix. Yes, absolutely. Still a good song. Just
it's a nice like closer.
It is, until the actual closer, which had new life as of this week, because Little Dreamer was a little known bonus track of Bionic, again produced by Ladytron. And this was kind of her little star Madonna, like very little Bobby song. Unlike Mood Ring, which was like everyone was clamoring for that to be on streaming, I wouldn't say this was like one that people were like, when will we get Little Dreamer?
So I have to confess, I didn't hear this until it came out last week when she was like 10 years of Bionic. And I was like, oh my God, the fighter in me failed.
The fighter failed to jump from within. I like it, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of interlude-y again. Like, I like the sounds of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ladytron can't go wrong with that production, but there's a part of it that is always like what we have with like My Baby and all of that, where it's like, this is clearly the baby song, and it's just a little bit like, for the baby.
Oh, is that who it's about? Like
I think so.
Her Bobies? Oh, that would make sense.
Maybe not, but I feel like it was for her baby.
Basically like Little Legends in League of Legends.
It honestly is like Brightest Morning Star to me.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
You are the lion.
It's darker because it's like So Long, My Little Dreamer. So we're going to hope it's not about the baby, actually, because it's like very... Yeah, I guess it's kind of grim, actually, to say it's about the baby. But I wonder who it's about. Because it is about we'll see each other one day again, but like the little dreamer's going away.
Oh.
I know. That was very Wendy of you.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Mm.
Oh.
Huh. That was a Minecraft villager noise. If anyone's a gamer, a little gamer. Huh. Anyway.
I think it's interpreted as a mother-child thing, but it's like too grim to say that because actually there was an article when the song came out this week that suggested it could have been like something political? A lost loved one or a miscarriage or something like that because yeah, interesting. Something worth exploring. I wonder if she'll ever, it wasn't the time to talk about anything Bionic this week, but maybe
let's call her.
Let's give her a little ring.
We can get Heidi on the phone. We can call Christina next.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh my God. No, I cannot.
What would you, if you had to ask Christina Aguilera a question, what would it be? And I have no idea what I'm going to ask yet. So
I know that I would say, what is your name? So that she can say to me, I think you already know my name. Good question. I would the one thing I wouldn't ask her about. The one thing I wouldn't ask her about, of course, is Britney, because every interviewer for the entire career does that, and it must be so insulting. So I would not ask about Britney. It's a good question. Do you know what you would ask her?
No. I actually don't. So I like totally exposed myself by asking that question, and I didn't even know my own answer.
I think I would want to just listen because I feel like she'd have things to say to me.
Right. Just put your red lips together
Yeah.
and blow.
Yeah, maybe I would ask her where that is so I can hold the mic stand.
Right? Like I would ask her like weird shit about like the mic stand or like.
Yeah, I definitely want a photo with her of her standing on me.
Oh, right.
I just want her to be Legendtina for me, like, or like her on a sitting on a throne and me at her feet. I just need something like that. I don't know. So
I also would want to like watch Real Housewives with her.
Yeah, I'm sure she's good for that.
Because I know she watches it.
For sure.
There were photos of her going out with Andy that she revealed on Watch What Happens Live that like no one knew.
Well, she loves Erica Jane, I think.
Right. So like I really do feel like she was like an underground gay icon before everyone was like, I'm a gay icon. So I would like want to know where all of that came from. Like, why did she connect with the gay community? And I feel like she was like tiptoeing, being like,
it seems like it's an album for,
you know, that should be our new like thing. Is like,
oh yeah.
Before like it was the thing for everyone to do. And I'm like, so where did that come from? Like, was there someone in your life that like inspired you or that like really made a difference in your life that you felt like when in Beautiful, like she really, I mean, I feel like she took a risk in Beautiful and like put that out in her music video and it was shocking at the time.
Yeah, for the baby gays, she had same-sex kiss in Beautiful in 2003 at a time when that was really much more radical. She definitely was there for us much earlier than a lot of the girls. And so I guess I agree with you. Like, I think her thing would be that she has felt like an other or an outcast in a lot of ways and relates to gays. And also they're in her orbit all the time with what she does. So I imagine she's just got a lot of friends that she feels very strongly about. And yeah, but I mean, you got to love her for that. I believe she was the first person to have the gay walk of fame at the Abbey too. What did she do there? I think it was a shoe ceremony or something, but
Wasn't there also that rumor that she was like banned? Wasn't that like, oh no, they didn't?
I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure she's had to be like,
well, maybe that's the question we ask her.
Have you been banned from the Abbey?
Yeah, are you banned from the Abbey?
Can you remember what you did?
Are you banned from the Abbey? Is Bobblehead about Heidi Montag?
I think these are the questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, they are. Well, until next week, we'll get you those answers. Yeah. And that is Bionic.
That's Bionic.
Hits you like a rocket. Wow.
It really does.
Now, to wrap this all up, why do we feel in like a short saying? Because in 2012, while promoting Lotus, which, you know, we'll have to, if you appreciated this moment, if you felt this moment, whoa, comment below, and let us know if you felt this moment. That was improv. That was pretty good, if I do say so myself.
For vocals.
V is for Vanity. Every time I sing to me. So anyway, sorry. In 2012, while promoting Lotus, she was talking about Bionic, and she said the following. Now, this is lengthy, but this is important. Some may say this is more important than the Declaration of Independence. So she says, quote, I can proudly say, Bionic was ahead of its time, to be honest. It wasn't so commercialized. You had to really be a music lover, be a true fan of music, and the love of being open to really appreciate that record. It's just a special piece of my body of work that will forever live on. And the legacy lives on. That's not part of the quote. The older the record gets, the more people will come to appreciate it actually and check it out.
Did she lie?
I mean, we're here now. It's like a decade later.
Here
we're
we
like
are.
90 years old.
Exactly. She got the last laugh.
Yeah.
She is 100% accurate. And it was a joke that at the time that people died for. Like, people were so over the moon with that quote. They thought it was so funny. And like, I used it all the time in Legendtina fanfic. And lo and behold, the album is ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Period.
And this is the best part of the quote. I feel like the best paragraph where she says, working with Sia, which I know she called that out because like Sia was massive by that point. And she was... Yep. She didn't want to say that she gave her like a break, but like, anyway, so she says, working with Sia and all these sort of electronic underground musicians and artists, gosh, for Bionic was amazing. That was an experimental record that will surpass time and maybe was too ahead of its time for certain people. But music people, you know, they really, really get my records and understand that I am constantly evolving and growing.
And here we are, music people, really understanding her constant evolution and growth.
She's got a point.
It's true, though. I mean, it was dangerous to say 2 years after the record. Like, a lot of people, it's just too soon to say that, but it was ahead of its time to say it was ahead of its time.
It was ahead of its time.
But the accuracy is real. You cannot say that she did not make Nicki, Sia, M.I.A, Ladytron, the Tigre, Peaches. Yes, they've had some moments, some of them, but like all of them together, that is fantastic and revolutionary. And she definitely was a platform for most of all Sia and Nicki.
Yeah.
Period. And the music is
Nicki
wonderful.
was on this album, and then she did Femme Fatale Tour after this, and then she like blew up on her own.
Then M.I.A and Nicki go ahead and do Gimme All Your Lovin' with Madonna for the Super Bowl 2 years later. And that
Pretty
all aside,
legendary, if you ask me. I love it.
Us about this whole album. And then just the features aside, I just think the music really holds up still and is really fun in a way that people were not willing to give her, I think.
Well,
So
she got quote unquote canceled in like one blog post that made such a big difference.
True.
And I think
and
we can end this episode by kind of saying like what we think, like why this album flopped, because it kind of did. And I feel like
it's public perception that So the album was number 3, which is like not a flop like by most standards, but by her standards, I guess it was, because the pop girls should have like all go number 1 every time. So it didn't. I would say the flop stuff became a thing because of how the single really just didn't perform.
And the Bionic Tour getting canceled.
The blogger who shall not be named making the Gaga references and also just kind of dragging her. But also because I lived it, I lived to tell.
Live it, love it, breathe it, work it, glam.
I mean, Stan Wars was at its peak. Like, this was truly, you had your faves. You had that whole Stan Wars website with like the terminology and the infights, and the Britney fans were brutal. Everybody was brutal. And I just think it just didn't even have a shot. And I also think that was honestly, this is the beginning of the backlash of every girl. Think about it. Bionic, and then you had Prism not exactly doing the same for Katie as Teenage Dream, and then applause, art pop getting that backlash. Applaud. Kind of since Bionic, every girl, and Britney Jean kind of took a tumble.
Well, deserved.
Whether it's deserved or not, it kind of felt like an age of backlash. Like Pink Friday Reloaded got backlash. Like all of the girls sort of got hit with, I would say, some stan backlash at that time.
Because this is when the internet took off. Like Twitter started to take off. And
we started comparing them with screen caps and also calling out everyone for sounding like other people, and calling her Flop Tina became the thing.
Oh, yeah.
All these like ugly memories are surfacing. It was ugly. The Stan Wars were ugly, and it was very not taking into account that these were human people.
When you tweet, all I hear is wah, 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 wah.
Bobblehead was for me.
Truly, like the original clown anthem.
So I think that's why it flopped. I think the internet culture as a whole kind of started turning on the pop girls.
Yeah.
And she was almost the first casualty. And that's not to say that she's over by any means, because obviously she's been able to have success after that and sort of get through that really tough period. But in my thinking back to this 2010 to 2013, I just feel like we really kind of dragged a lot of them, some more than others.
Yeah. I kind of feel like this was her most Madonna-esque moment. And I feel like it flopped because she was so confident and she was so cocky and she was a new mom. And I feel like there's such a misogynistic tone to like how she got dragged. It was like the general public didn't want this new mom being sexy and naked and confident. Like that was so, it reminds me of like erotica of like Madonna. And I'm not like, you're the more Madonna
No, but you have a point.
encyclopedia of like,
Yeah.
that's why Madonna got dragged when she got dragged. Cause it was like this woman being sexy and confident and naked. It was like, ew, gross. Like she got ripped for that. And I feel like Christina, she did that with Dirty, but she was also like really young with Dirty.
I think it's because she was in her 30s.
Yeah, she was
to
a
be
mom.
honest. Like, was she in her 30s?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because like
I
Back to
feel like-
Basics, she kind of, I don't want to say that it was tame because it wasn't, but she got pregnant
Right.
and she did like the whole conservative mommy moment and then came back out and was like, woohoo. And everyone was like, whoa, what is this?
Not anymore. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? That really speaks to, you know, not only Stan Twitter wars, but also just our culture. And, you know, when Madonna was doing her tour in her 30s, like the headline in the UK was like,
Old
cover
hag.
up grandma. Yeah. It was like, she was literally in her 30s. To some degree, that has never changed.
Nope.
And so you probably have a good point that Not Myself Tonight was such a backfire for the same reason it was a backfire for Madonna. Not that it was a backfire, like it's still hugely popular, but like, you know, the backlash of people being against her sexuality being displayed like that. You definitely have a point with that. I also think the campaign was just kind of dead in the water after Not Myself Tonight. It felt like they didn't know what to do immediately after.
It was very anti-oop.
Yeah, like there was no more energy after that. To go to You Lost Me is literally killing the party.
Yeah.
So I also think there's a little bit of label fuckery in it and just misguided decisions about where she should have gone next. Desnudite to the, like, if you serviced remixes and sent that to the club, that could have been a different story, probably.
Mm-hmm. Also, if this had hit in like 2015, 2016, or like now, when we have like React with like the Pussycat Dolls and they're in their 40s and they're sexy and like, it would have been very different.
I definitely think it would have been different. I do think it's kind of a combination of everything. I do think internet culture plus just general to be expected societal pressure on women who are sexy over 30 altogether just made for such backlash. And then I do think Lady Gaga is to blame, but not like her fault. I think her existence rendered a lot of the other girls like obsolete, or at least, you know, like they're old. Gaga's new. She's the new girl. Like,
yeah.
I just see all the baby gays being like, ew, you like her? Like, it's all about Gaga now.
Yeah, it was exactly what happened with TRL, like back in the day when like Christina first came. It's like women were always pitted against each other.
Right. There were a lot of things. And then, of course, blog culture was big. And the blogger who shall not be named still had a lingering voice of some degree.
Yeah. I remember people sending me that exact post and being like, ew, Christina, I can't believe she copied Gaga. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like,
I remember the comparison picture, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where we stand with why it quote unquote flopped. But I do think she got a fair share of redemption with Gaga herself, so kind of calling that out, and also just
do it,
you know, the hashtags. Yeah. And the hashtag like campaigns to get her back on the charts and all that.
Yeah. The videos and like everything coming back. And
I don't know. I still think like for me, Bionic stands out. It will always have so many funny inside jokes about it, but at the end of the day, I still genuinely love the album. I just think, you know, you have to have a little sense of humor about the things she said and did and during the promo interviews and stuff. And obviously a lot of the songs are really fucking silly and funny. Like Vanity, hello.
Well, also too, I mean, our number one is like Britney, who's extremely humble. So when you have someone who is so, in contrast, so fucking cocky, it's like kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like looking back, I feel like she should have been as cocky as she was because it is great. And she can sing and she is a legend and she's an icon. So it's like.
And I have such a big thing about, I like characters in my pop music. Like ever since Taylor Swift sort of ushered in the relatability of a pop star, nothing's ever really been the same because now you have to be like really, really like your best friend sort of vibes.
Oh no, I love a character.
I love a diva. I love a character.
It comes from watching wrestling as a kid.
Totally. So to have her be this sort of superhero, super ego, drag queen character totally fulfills a fantasy for me. And I don't need her to be sweet or relatable. And that's kind of what Bionic is. It's just her elevating to this drag queen sort of ego that I love.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
literally it's a superhero. Like she
Totally.
is this bionic woman who can sing.
Yes. So I am in full support, and I hope she still feels that fantasy and like,
You know
keeps
she
going
feels that
back.
fucking fantasy. Let's be real. She knows that Bionic is great. She meant what she said when she called it ahead of its time.
Agreed.
And
I'm
I feel
ready
like
for a Bionic tour, honestly. Like, I'm ready for her to just be like, in honor. Oh, could you imagine if that's what she was going to do this week? Like, be like, in honor of 10 years of Bionic, I was going to do a tour. So that's coming next year.
I really do feel like she was going to do something a lot bigger than what she did, but circumstances were not the time. It was not the time. It was not the moment.
No, but
also
that's ahead of its time.
Respect to her for understanding that. And I will say, shout out to Christina because she also used her voice.
Yes, the voice within. Yes, it was not within. It was actually very out.
Yeah.
She has been speaking out a lot. So that's been wonderful to see too.
I'm like, there you go. She can be cocky and she can be whatever, but she is also an ally. And
yes,
we stand.
We really do. I guess that is the journey of Bionic.
Oh, it's so iconic.
Bionic, so iconic. Can't.
Yeah, that is Bionic.
That is the journey of Bionic. Go listen to it if you haven't already. Re-listen to it if you have. And we hope you enjoy this journey to the future.
It was quite a journey.
This episode is ahead of its time, I think. It's really for true podcast lovers. So
let's go out like this. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the flyest of them all? It's me. Bow down, get on your knees. Where's my queens who reign supreme? Let me hear you scream. It's like, oh! I don't even know what could change to make that.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty perfect, but
mirror, mirror on the wall.
First of all, and second of all,
who's the flyest of them all? It's me. Where's my queens?
This is for the girls, this one.
Oh, okay, we gotta stop.
Let's go out like that.
Yeah.
She's an icon, but she's
I didn't mean to do that.
No, not like that.
You listening to me try and concoct a new single.
What was that?
Oh.
All right. Well,
let's go out like that.
Yeah.
Let's not forget who owns the throne. You do, Bradley.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Well,
we're back.
We are back.
To me. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. And this has been a journey. And go listen to Bionic. I feel like we need a
coughing.
Coughing
during my podcast.
Shoot him. Oh wow, that was a journey. Okay, see ya. Bye everyone. Thank you for listening.
Bye Bionic on iTunes.
Yeah. That was fun.
That really was.